Okay, and okay, boom. Waiting on notification. Okay, boom. Okay, and we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast. We have a great guest, one who I'm very humbled and honored would take time out of his busy schedule to come give us some information as well as some inspiration. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mussadiq.
Walaikum salam, Brother Josh Muhammad. How are you?
I'm doing fine by the grace of Allah, sir. Okay, well, Brother Mussadiq, the first thing we want to start with is your businesses. How have you been so successful in being an entrepreneur?
If I may, Brother Josh.
Yes, sir.
I definitely want to send, my condolences, but my greetings to your family, to your father, especially to your father, who, I love to death. Like, yeah, I'm one of his sons, and everything that I do, I accomplish. It is because of him teaching me, sharing with me as just a young Muslim man coming in. So, and just for you, I definitely want to give the greetings to the believers that are tuned into your podcast, giving this Islam a lifestyle, in that, we ain't strange.
Yes, sir.
We are beautiful people, man, and
Yes,
we
sir.
can do it all.
Yes, sir.
So I wanna thank you, man, because I watch you, and I think about it, because I think you called me last year, maybe a year and a half ago, and said,
Yes, sir.
brother, would you do an interview with me? And I didn't get back with you, but I've been watching you. So I'm sitting around, I'm saying, brother Josh doing everybody. I said, brother Josh, he ain't calling me no more. I guess he said, I called him the first time, and he didn't never get back with me. So I appreciate you, brother Josh, just what you're doing in your demonstration of what Islam is. So I definitely want to say that.
Excellent, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you and your family for you all sacrifice.
Yes, sir.
In Miami, I've seen you from barbershops to promotions to event plans, like just everything you've done. Wing stops, like wing restaurants and ring restaurants. What's the key to your success?
Islam. And I mean that. And I stand on that. You can't go in none of my businesses and not know that I'm a follower of Farrakhan, and that I'm in the Nation of Islam. I mean, I wear that heavy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
what I mean by that is my character, my personality, the way I interact and treat people, and just my customer service. As we was taught as FOI, man, when I put on that bow tie, that means I'm here to serve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So my service has been my success, along with, and Brother Josh, and don't get mad at me, but I have to tell you this, and I have to tell all the brothers and sisters that's watching this, I got this from your father. That's just been real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like I'm gonna give it to you, and like I told you, I want you to ask me any and everything, when it comes to our nation, being a Muslim, being tried, but being successful at the same time and not wavering, So I want you to ask me that, because I watched most of your joints, but I got some stuff for you. If you can bring it at me, I got some stuff for you, bro.
Okay, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, the first thing we want to know is, when did you first hear the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Probably when I first heard the minister is when he stood up for Jesse Jackson and said, I think Malcolm X or Martin Luther King was the last black leader that you would kill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when I heard him say that, I never forget, we was in DC. I say, who is this man? So I started inquiring. I guess I was probably about 11, 12 years old. And so I never forget. And my brother, who was older than me, he said, "Oh man, them old Muslims, they don't do nothing but sell drugs." What? And just that summer, I happened to come to Miami, and I had a cousin that was a member of the Nation of Islam out of Detroit. And when he came to Miami, and I'm a young boy in the summer, he said, "Come on, man, I want you to do for self." So I was cutting grass and doing all that, and he would give me the lessons, he would give me the paper, and my grandmother and them and all them be like, "Boy, don't come around here with that stuff. Boy, don't come around here with that stuff."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that was my first introduction. And then when I talked to my father about it, I went to go see my father because my father was in Rayford Penitentiary, one of the hardest penitentiaries in the state of Florida. And when I told him about what Vernon was telling me, he was saying, "Listen to him." And I didn't know that my father was going by the name of Jabbar. And he said, "Just listen." And so from about 12 to 17, I would see the brothers, and I would always want to get the paper. And sometimes they'd give them to me, and sometimes, my mother and my brother, was like, "Nah, man, we ain't messing with that stuff. We ain't messing with that stuff." And I never forget, about 1987, I met this brother by the name of Fred. I think he used to be the captain up in Jacksonville. I used to hunt that brother down in Miami. And so me and my wife and the brother, he's in Macon, Georgia now, registered Muslim too. We went to go see the minister at Studio 183. This was 1987. It was called Power. Power, symbol without substance. Hold on. Symbol without substance. Hold on. Economics without power, symbol without substance. I think that was the title. And from that day, man, I've been on the minister, man. Listen, I've been on the minister since then. When I was a young boy, I guess I had to be 87. Yeah, so I guess I was about 18, about 19 years old. I was living in Miami.
Praise be to Allah. And you said your wife, this now, was with you back then?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And hold on. And I'm gonna tell you again. And I mean this with all sincerity and humbleness. And it is because of your father counseled me, helped me, motivated me, dealt with me to be where I'm at, even in marriage. Because again, well, you miss. I guess if you go back to it, so between 87, I got registered in 90. So in 87 to 90, I was hustling and in prison. You understand me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'll never forget, I was in a halfway house in 89, and I believe Savior's Day was at the National Armory in DC. And I left the halfway house to go to that Savior's Day, and I had to be back in a minute. I was mad as hell, but I didn't want to get violated and go back to prison.
Yes,
so
sir,
I had to get back, and I missed the minister. I missed the last part of the speech.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, wonderful. Now, I never knew you was in prison. I never knew you did any of that. Yes, because when I met you, your children were educated. I mean, this is like just recently, 2 years ago, when I was in Miami, school, college. How were you able to get your children to go to college, and why was that important for you to get your children to go to college?
Bro, Josh, let me tell you this right here. The black man and woman really don't want to do wrong. And a lot of times circumstances and events leads us down a path in which we don't know any better. Right? We don't know any better. But again, and I have to give you this jewel, because you're right. I mean, I think I took a couple of courses at a junior college, and that was only because I thought I was smart enough. This is what I should do, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? But my wife, on the other end, comes from an academic background.
Mm, mm.
You understand me? So here I am. I got my PhD in the streets. I've been hustling since I can remember, from throwing newspaper, shoveling, selling barbecue, selling crabs, cutting yards, running to the stores for the hustlers. I've been doing that all my life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I had a PhD in the streets. And, you look at my daughter and my son, both of my graduates of Howard University. My son has his own company. My daughter works for one of the biggest law firms there is, but she handled billion-dollar deals right now. She worked 8 years for Obama, right? So much so, when she had all the top clearance because she was assistant to the Secretary of Transportation, everybody got to go into the White House and meet Obama because she had this high clearance. I was the only one couldn't go. They wouldn't let me in.
Mm.
So I say that to say, it's like, we always reference the Godfather.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just put I put my sons and daughters in places where they may not let me in, but they're gonna have to deal with Muhammad regardless, anyway or how, because it's in them. And I mean that. And so now let me give you the other caveat, brother Josh.
Yes, sir.
Like
Yes,
I
sir.
said, you're right. I ain't never went to college, right?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know anything about a SAT, a ACT,
Yes, sir.
because unfortunately, I was trying to boil water at 11 and 12 years old, man, because my father had done 27 years in prison. My mother was trying to take care of 4 children in Washington, D.C., and then she got caught up. So it was me and my children. So we was, we was defending for ourselves. So I met my wife at 18, 19, whenever it was. And when I met her, I was hustling in the streets then. I think I just came home from jail. Right?
Yes, sir.
And after that, once I hooked up with her, she was that opposite and that balance that I needed. And she helped to guide me to where I am right now today.
Beautiful.
Because
Yes, sir.
I'm a wild. Listen, I was a wild dude.
Yes, sir.
But I always, in my heart, I knew right. You understand me? But it was always, we gotta live. We gotta survive. So by my very nature was to do right. I just ain't know how to do right because I was trying to eat. And so she balanced that. So her coupled with who she was, raising my children, and me knowing how to submit to intelligence is the beauty of my family.
Praise be to Allah. So are you saying to all the single brothers out there that we should choose a woman who is intelligent as well as pretty? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, man, if she can't motivate you, if she can't inspire you, if she can't get in your behind when you're wrong, and if she can't take you back when you messed up, leave her alone. Hold on. Now let me give you this one, brother Josh.
Yes, sir.
You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Up until 9 months ago, right?
Yes, sir.
There's 182 judges in Miami. There was only one black female. You know who that was? That was my wife.
Beautiful. Yes, sir.
So you got a wretch like me, right?
Yes, sir.
With a wife like that.
That
produce children like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now let me give you the other one. And I gotta think, because I want to definitely want to go here, because I want to thank Mosque number 4 and the brotherhood. And again, and this goes back to your father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can never have been the man that I am today without that brotherhood.
Beautiful.
But check this out. You know, my wife's mother is white.
I didn't know.
And a Jew. You hear what I said?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
white
sir.
And a Jew. But you know, my wife took her shahada and she wrote her letter and got her ex, right?
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
And you know, hold on. And you know, her mother accepted me as her favorite son-in-law. And she loves the teachings.
Beautiful.
She loves the teachings. And I never forget Brother Edward. It's one of my first lieutenants. And I'm banging hard, you know, because I'm so hard, man. You got to understand, you know, your father, as we should say, there was no air in D.C. with the FOI in D.C. Listen, I couldn't breathe, man. I'm trying to take the air out of the house. And Brother Edward used to tell me, Brother Gerald, you got to give us some air, brother. You got to give us some air. You know, because I was going hard, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Going hard, extremely hard.
Yes, sir.
But I think a lot, brother, we endured. And she sacrificed. And she put up with my madness. And she put up with, you know, with our new way of life, our lifestyle. And, you know, of course, you know, we talking 30-some years later, brother, you see the fruits of our labor and our discipline of what we say we believe in, and that's Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir. When you came in, once you accepted the teachings, how did your parents feel about that?
Listen, I've always been the black sheep of my family. Always. When, you know, when my older brother was, you know, trying to go to school or get a job, I was hustling. When I was getting all that money on the streets as a young boy, I was taking care of my mother, taking care of my sisters. I came home from prison. I said, I'm gonna square up. And so, I mean, like anything else, you know, my mother backed me in anything that I would do. So it was natural. It was just natural. So there was no pushback at all, because I've always been a maverick. I've always been, you know, I always went against the grain. So they said, all right, cool. And, bro, Josh, we was going so hard. There's no way in the world you couldn't be proud of a Muslim. That's how hard we was going in DC. You got to understand, between 85 and 90, DC was the murder capital of the world. You understand me? Listen, I can remember, because even though I was living in DC, I always had a connection to Miami. I was hustling in DC and Illinois, and I was watching the Muslims go to work. I was watching them go to work, and I always respected them, because, believe it or not, in my heart, they was in my heart. I knew what it was.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I was hustling because it was just real easy. That's what I knew, right? And I'm gonna tell you the other story. I was hustling all week and going to the mosque on Sundays. Ain't nobody know who I was. I slip in and slip out, pay my charity and get on up out of there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I was hustling in Miami, hustling in Illinois, and hustling in DC and Maryland. You know, listen, I can remember, like, again, I remember Brother Anthony. I remember Brother Scotty. I remember Brother Herman. Brother named Brother Forrest. What's his name now? Brother, can't think of Brother Forrest's name. But see, I remember them brothers. And I come in on Sunday, sit in the back row, listen to Dr. Aline or Minister Sean. And then I roll out. And I go back to hustling. I come back to Miami hustling, go to Illinois hustle. You know, I see the brothers on the street always gave them big money. They probably don't remember, but that was me. And I was, you know, like I said, I was a young boy, but at that time in DC, you know, DC was the murder capital of the world, but it also was Bank of America. And what I mean by Bank of America, we was getting so much money, man, back then. It was incredible. 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old boys. You know, it wasn't nothing, you know, it wasn't nothing for us, you know, to count 100,000 on the weekend. This is real talk. To the point where a lot of brothers didn't understand, but your father had a keen eye with me in a relationship. They didn't understand how I used to go back when I came in the nation. I used to go back and work all the drug sites. And I knew a lot of the brothers, but a lot of the brothers respected me. It's because I knew them from the other end. And I knew how to deal with them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How to deal with them because they knew, some of them knew me from before. And I'm not saying, you know, I was the baddest guy, the toughest guy, but I've always been a respectable guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so much so, and I hope we get into this, some of the brothers used to try to insinuate to your father that I was still hustling. And your father never threw me away. He questioned me. They questioned me. This is on some real stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They questioned me. And your father, and let me tell you something, brother Josh. I used to always say, bring them to me. Let them tell me in my face, because that's a lie. I ain't touched no drugs since 1989. And I had many of opportunities that they wanted to put me back in the game. And I said, nah, I don't never want to miss the growth of my daughter. I don't ever want to go back. And then one thing your father told me too, I don't ever want to embarrass the Nation of Islam and Minister Farrakhan. Ever. Ever.
Praise be to Allah.
And I mean that. And that's just the way, you know, that's just the way it was. So from 1989, brother, man, I've been a square. if that's what you want to call it.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've been a square. But I would tell you this, through my discipline and love of Allah and the love of Minister Farrakhan and the love of Sharif Muhammad, I got it all back.
Praise be to Allah.
And some.
Praise be to Allah.
And some. I could bear witness to that. You know, I really can. And like I say, you asked me the question about Corona. Like I told you, yeah, I'm probably about a half a million down. I ain't missing no meals. I ain't even fretting. I ain't even fretting because, you know, I keep my eyes on the prize, and that is Allah and His messenger, and the one we got in our midst today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So listen, man. If we follow these teachings, man, success is guaranteed to us.
Praise be to Allah.
And I mean that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Okay. Well, what was it like for you meeting the Most High Mr. Farrakhan for the first time?
The first time that I talked to him, he said something back to me, bro. We was in class. This had to be about 1990. 1991. This before the minister. We did the minister at the convention center back to back. It ain't been done before. Back to back. And I stood up, man. I told the minister, I'm ready to give my life for you right now. And I mean that today, 34 years later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean that today. I mean that today. As a matter of fact, I mean that for the brotherhood.
Praise be to Allah.
And that's what I mean by that. And I'm going to say it again. You might get tired of me, but that is the kind of FOI that your father trained.
Praise be to Allah.
And I mean that. So the next time that I actually met or sat down with the minister is when I was regional captain, and of course going to the house to eat, after Savior's Day or Labor's Day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, brother, I've always been in the, I ain't nothing I can say. I just want to sit and listen. To be in the presence of God's man, and to be in the presence of, the embodiment of love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The embodiment of love. Even right now, when he comes to Miami, because Brother Josh and Supreme Mustafa, they always call me. I'm always humble. And I'm always, just I want to do more to help him.
Yes, sir.
To help us. And I'm ready to, I'm ready to put in that work if it needs be.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, this is what I know. This is what I know. This is what I feel. I stand on it. I mean it. And I pray I die with this same spirit.
Beautiful. Well, how did you know? Well, when did you go from seeing the minister as maybe a speaker or an activist to someone who was in fact divinely guided that will make you have to see the embodiment of love, as you put it?
I think that's just in my growth in studying. Mm-hmm. Like I see him right more or better or clearer because of years down understanding. I saw him as a man that, of course, I just loved. And then your father taught me to love him. And to love the brotherhood. So, so in my growth and development, it just grows naturally to who he is and who he's becoming. And the other beautiful thing is, I had a long conversation with a brother yesterday, and he talked about the source, plugging into the source that gives you power.
Allahu Akbar.
So I am a living, breathing example of believing in Master Farad Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I'm plugged in, brother. I got the, what some cords you put all them things in?
Yes, sir. The not the extension cord, but
power cord.
Power cord. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How can I be weak with no power if I'm plugged into them?
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How can we not listen, Brother John? This is the other thing. You too young to know, but I really truly believe that we ran Washington D.C. bar none. The police couldn't move nothing. The dope boys couldn't move nothing. The politicians couldn't move nothing. The federal government couldn't do nothing. The U.S. Park Service couldn't do nothing if the FOI was present. Now I was 20. Listen, I came in the nation at 22 years old. So that was really at the time where I should have been just started partying, right? Having fun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shit, man, I was talking about trying to take over the whole old East Coast. That's what we was doing. Everywhere the minister was going, man, we was there. New York, Philly, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Illinois, Delaware. I was in a halfway house for 1 year, and every weekend the minister was speaking because your father was always right there. Washington, D.C., FOI was right there with the minister.
Praise be to Allah.
I was in a halfway house working and in barber school and with a fresh baby. I was fearless. And it was on go anytime we went anywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was on go. So, you know, that's my success. That's my success. And I don't, you know, I don't play with that. Anybody that knows me, and you can't come to Miami and you ain't even gotta say my name. All you gotta do is say that Muslim brother. Everybody knows me.
Yes, sir.
Everybody know me, and they don't know me for being a shyster. They don't know me for being a fraud. They say, "Oh, that's Farrakhan, man."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I stand on that.
Praise be to Allah.
You know, I stand on that, and it's not, and I'm not even to the point where we talking about success or money. I'm just talking about from belief and demonstration. And demonstration. You know, because they try to figure out you with Farrakhan, your wife's a judge, but you go to the most roughest neighborhoods and your business has been there for 25, 27 years and you don't get touched. That's Islam.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
Islam. Brother, ain't nothing magical. It's Islam. Period. An example that your father showed me as a young FOI. Because he was the example. When I look at him, Sadiq, Curtis, Akil, Van.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They was my examples. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to move like them. I wanted to dress like them. I wanted to get the cars like them. I wanted the suits like them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I wanted to be on the front line like them. Because through all that time, nothing ever happened to the minister on that watch, did it? Did you hear? You ever heard anything?
No, sir. No, sir.
That's what I wanted. I wanted the same success as them. As a young FOI. That's what I wanted. They were my shining examples of what a FOI should be.
Beautiful. Well, speaking of being on the front line and working, especially in the area that I went to, where your event was in Overtown in Miami, seemed rough and all of these different areas. Have you ever been faced with fear? And if so, how did you overcome the fear that you faced?
Brother, I don't fear nobody but Allah, and I'm not being spooky. But Overtown is the roughest area in Miami. That's why they call it First 48.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I planted my flag there over 10 years ago.
Allahu Akbar.
And ain't nothing and nobody gonna move on my block. And that's just, listen, Rajah, you gotta understand, I'm telling you, with my training and where I come from, Washington, D.C., the murder capital of the world, being trained by Abdul Sharif Muhammad, first officer, Brother Tim, second officer, Brother Darrell, and countless of men that took over the city, the whole DMV. That is my training. So that means, listen, when you take these teachings on, we really should be running countries.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Not cities, not towns. We should be running countries. So for me to take over a little town, that's nothing. Every town I went to, I controlled. They'll tell you that. Every town I went to, Coconut Grove, which is that Coconut Grove down in South Miami, Parine, now Overtown, which is the roughest joint. Every town I went to, I control. And I don't control with no hard hand. You know, excuse me, as our brother used to say, you wear a velvet glove with an iron fist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're gonna come with, of course we're gonna come with love. And trust me, we are hard to anger. We are very hard to anger. But as your father told me again, the worst thing you can do is to do something to a Muslim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't want that pressure. And that pressure is real. And listen, I've had 2, 3, maybe 4 skirmishes in the 28, 29 years that I've been in Miami. Yeah, I've had a few, run-ins.
Yes, sir.
We dealt with them. They ain't never happened again. And if you look at my businesses, none of my business have bars on them. No, because they know if you mess with that brother, I don't know if you want to pay them consequences.
Praise be to Allah.
Because he will give it to you before you take it. And so now when you go back to the community in which I'm at, where we had the festival,
yes, sir,
that was the most underserviced area in Miami. And now, since my presence and my team is, my sister and brother and cousin who are registered Muslims too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There is billions of dollars now coming into that neighborhood as of what we've been doing. And by my contributions of bringing business there and the foresight of what's happening.
Praise be to Allah.
That's facts. That's facts. Like, listen, you could never get 10 people to walk in over town now. I mean, back then, over past 10 years ago, come there, we get 10,000 people there. And listen, in not one incident, we've never had an incident. So now when I meet with the police chief, now when I meet with the mayors, now when I meet with the city managers, now when I meet with the political board, you know what they say? That's Brother Muhammad. That's Brother Muhammad. They got to respect Farrakhan and his work. They got to respect him, period. And I mean that. So yeah, man, definitely most certainly all praises due to Allah, Brother Josh, for that.
Beautiful. Okay, excellent. Now you have a lot of people commenting, showing you love to Tracy, Brother Michael, Brother Joseph, my sister Naima. Everybody is showing you love. Now, for people who should all people go into business?
I think that I don't know if all people should go into business, but we should be in the business of business. And what I mean by that is that we have to have in our nation, we have to have people in every facet of life. Right? That's the way we deal. Like, listen, I got a couple of deals right now. And Brother Josh, I want you to understand this right here. And I want to say it again. I got a high school diploma. That's it. My schooling has come from the Nation of Islam and my desire to read and learn.
Yes, sir.
My daughter, very bright, very smart, tough. She negotiates right now billion-dollar acquisitions.
Oh,
right? My wife is a finance major, right? My son is like me, but smarter, pure heart, just a pure little smart brother, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So right now I got on the table about $50 million in business on hold that I'm gonna own, inshallah, free and clear in the next 36 months.
Thanks, inshallah.
I want to take my daughter, I want to take her from them devils, and I want her to have one client and one client only. And then her and my son are able to grow and produce what I gave them, which is about 50 million. So the question is, we should all be into business to learn business. And like I said, listen, I didn't have a choice, brother Josh, because I was considered what they consider a 3-time loser, right? I got a rack of felonies, got a whole bunch of charges. So they ain't gonna never play fair with me. So I had to do for self. I had to go take a trade up. I had to believe in myself so much that you're right. The biggest marketing and promotional company right now in, if you want to call it Black America, came out of the thought of my barbershop giving my cousin the insight, this is what we should be doing, which is Headline and Market Group. And everybody know that because they know Club Live, which is our night.
Yes, sir.
They know Headline and Market Group because everywhere we go, we do the biggest events ever, Super Bowl, All-Star.
Profit. Yes, sir.
The biggest events. That all came from your little brother. But being able to take my cousin who was a basketball star, he had a marketing degree, right? My sister, who used to work and manage for Luke, so she knows that industry, right? So I just take those talents and put them together to make them go. And I sit back, and everybody know me. I'm the doorman, or they call me the rope guy. Like I'm always in the front. I ain't never in the club. They will never see me drinking and partying, but they always see me out front because as an FOI, I'm gonna check the temperature before anything go wrong in here. And that's why all our events, we don't never have no problem.
Praise be to Allah.
Because I'm checking the spirit of the people before they even come in the door. And they don't even know it. They don't even realize I'm giving them Islam. I'm giving them a check procedure, and they don't even realize that the Muslim is doing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's a beautiful thing, So we should go into business. We should develop our talents, because what's happening is we have been so dependent on everyone else, but we are not producers of nothing. We're not manufacturers of nothing. And we can take the small things and grow our community. We can. And then we take the smarter ones in our community because they're in the positions, and then they plug us in to make the family of Muhammad grow. That's the way it has to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the way it should go. So yeah, we should do business, majority. But we also have to know how to conduct business. And that comes from going out, sitting in those other places, learning it, taking our talented ones, now using to our advantage. Because who don't want to do business with a Muslim?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, think about it, brother Josh. Think like we have morals and characters and principles that we deal on. As Muslims, they know us to be clean and out and fair. And I'm not saying we're all like that, but because if we follow the teachings to the right and exact, and to our example of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who wouldn't want to do business with us? And we just have to be keen enough, shrewd enough, sharp enough to know how to conduct business outside of the so-called suit and bow tie.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Well, Brother Mussadiq, speaking of business, I want to make sure that I take this time to highlight all of the business sponsors of this episode. And thank you all for your continued sponsors of People's Podcast. I want to start with, 1 second, and thank you again, Brother Mussadiq, and thank you all for watching. I see you, Brother Michael. I see all of the great guests. I mean, the great people who always comment and continue to comment, but I got to make sure I shout the sponsors out. 1 second, hold on. Here we go. Boom. Because this week we have, okay, here we go. Boom. Street Premiere Media Production, my brother and Jamal, 4K cameras, drones, television. They're working on video sets, and they're really working on a lot of great projects that are coming soon. They even have a clothing line. My sister Miriam's children's book, ABC I Love Me, and coloring book, which is on Amazon. Make sure you all please go get it and support that. My sister Naima Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She's teaching ballet virtually, as well as now with the mask, doing the COVID stuff at the dance studio here in Georgia. Supreme Men's Clothing out of St. Louis. He ships some of the best clothing to you all across the country. Raising Black Millionaires, Sister Tia Muhammad. She does an amazing job of teaching economic empowerment and development through flashcards. Thank you, Sister Tia Muhammad. Make sure we support our sister. Brother Kenneth Muhammad, bow tie maker extraordinaire. Thank you very much. He will ship the bow ties to you anywhere in the country. Also, I want to make sure Exodus, a new way of life, credit restoration. Thank you. If you all need your credit restored, reach out to them. Khaliq's Boutique. They always do a good job of sending me custom t-shirts, and they'll look out for you as well. Brother Chantel X, they hire truck drivers. They're the X and Express. They ship refrigeration all across the country. Shout out to Brother Chantel X, Brother Jabbar Muhammad of Chicago, Client First Construction Incorporated, painting, carpentry, flooring, plumbing, etc. Thank you very much. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs. They have some of the best turkey legs you ever had right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you, Dr. Henry. Brother Rashad Muhammad out of Chicago. COVID-19 disinfecting cleaning service. Please reach out to Brother Rashad Muhammad if you need some business done in Chicago. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, abdulsharif.com. Thank you very much, Dad, for your sponsorship. Last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is on Amazon, a children's book, as well as my book, No Father, No Excuse. Thank you very much for you all support. Please like, share, subscribe, Cash App, the $ of People's Podcast. Okay, Brother Mussadiq, the Million Man March.
Yes, sir.
What was it like leading up to that, and how did that personally impact you?
I mean, listen, I drove to the Million Man March, me, my cousin. I had about 20, 25 brothers that met me there, or we drove there. And it was just, listen, how most people say, oh, if I was with King, I would have been with King. If I was with Malcolm, I was with Malcolm. So I can say I was at the Million Man March. I can say I was at the 2000 March.
Yes, sir.
I can say I took 450 people to 10-10-15.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you see, so here again, Brother Josh, 25 people in 1995. I drove up. 10-10-15, I took 450 people.
Praise be to God.
All paid for.
Praise be to God.
They got on the bus for free. By the help and the will of Allah. That I was able to take because of my belief in that right there.
Praise be to God. Well, what has been your greatest trial in your tenure in the nation, and how have you overcome that trial?
Brother Josh, listen, I've had trials within the nation and without the nation. Listen, I tell you, one of my trials was in 2008 or 9. I opened up a big old restaurant on US 1, which is probably equivalent to in Atlanta, probably maybe Peachtree, I guess. That's probably the biggest thoroughfares and highest rent, so on and so forth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I opened a big old restaurant. Fly, man. It was ESPN couldn't even mess with it. I lost like $1 million. And my money, no bank money, my money. I was damn near broke. Well, I was broke. But I overcame it because I never lost faith in Allah, and I never took my eyes off the prize. And I grind harder and I prayed harder. Now I got it back 10 times. Right? Another trial of mine, and I tell you this, that I've had my trials in the nation as well. As a young brother in DC, coming up, you know, coming out the streets. You gotta understand, in '89, I was driving a 535 pulling up to the mosque.
Mm, mm, mm.
I was wearing them $700-800 suits,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? And a lot of people knew me from from the streets. You know, they knew me, and I was fearless because I was fearless hustling. So I was fearless doing God's work
Yes,
and
sir.
doing
Yes,
the
sir.
brotherhood. Because, like I said, your father just he ensured me that he was a man's man. He was one that I could follow. He was one that, if I was going to war, if I'm behind enemy line, he was coming to get me. So I was fearless as hell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
that's the way that's the way we were. So it was a real agent in the mosque. We talk about agents and hypocrites and all
Yes, sir.
that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
No,
sir.
no, no, no. It was a real agent in the mosque, and he was a lieutenant with me, and he was
Mm.
jabbing, saying some. He was saying some mess about me. He was on me. He was on me. Where some of the other lieutenants was looking at me crazy, right? And I never forget, brother Darrell. Brother Darrell was second officer then. Brother Darrell was jamming me. And I'm saying, yo, this, where you getting this from? Like, where you getting this information from about stuff that I was doing and supposed to been involved with, and all this right here? I was like, no, that's not true. It was the brother. And I left the mines. I left the mines because I said I wanted to kill him. And I said, before I kill him, I'll leave the mines because I don't ever want to shame the nation. Because I was like, listen, he must don't know I still got all these killers that they used to look up to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, my connect in Miami has always been so strong. It ain't nothing for me to hustle again. I
Yes, sir.
can make a
Yes, sir.
phone call and get what I want and go back to hustling. DC was still a whole bunch of money in the '90s too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I said, man, I can't turn back on the nation. I can't turn back on my daughter. I can't turn back on all those who have seen me with the nation. And now I'm back out of these streets for what? And this brother lying on me. And I said, well, and I probably was crazy in my thinking. And I was saying, this ain't all that I've had, or this is what I need. Because I'll do something to you and just go back in the streets. Like, because I didn't know no better. I'm 22, I'm 20, at this I'm 22, 23 years old. So I'm like, shit, I'm young, I'm fearless, I'm still, I'm still there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I left the mines. I was gone for about, and I was a lieutenant. I was gone for about 3 or 4 weeks. I wasn't answering no phone call. Brother Darrell was calling me. Brother Tim was calling me. I think your father may have called me. Brother Ernst, Brother Scotty, all them, Brother Edwin, all they calling me. I ain't answering no phone calls. Because I was so mad at this brother. Because he was telling lies on me. And I wanted to do something to him. And I damn near I cried because that's how hurt I was, because I know that I wasn't doing nothing. And I was saying, man, if they believe in this chump, like they believe in him over me, I said, man, I'm going to do something to you. But I prayed about it, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to leave. I never forget. I was on 13th and K Street. Brother Tim saw me. Brother Jared, where you been? I said, what do you mean, Brother Tim? Brother First Officer? Well, you everybody say they calling you. You ain't answering no phone call. And I broke down right there on 13th and K. And I told Brother Tim what I wanted to do to that brother. He said, brother, I want you in FOI class tomorrow. Or I want you in the mosque. I don't know if it's FOI class. They said, I want you in the mosque. And if anybody say something to you, you tell me. That's what Brother Tim said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm thankful to Allah for Brother Tim. Because I was gone, but I'm telling you, I wanted to do something to this brother. So Now you talking like if some of the brothers, you talking about like brother Aaron, brother Daryl, brother Tim, and of course your father, they would know exactly who I'm talking about when I say the agent. He was spreading lies on me, man. I wanted to do something to him. But brother Tim, man, told me, say, brother, don't you ever let no one take you off your post from keeping your eyes on Farrakhan. He said, that's what we gotta watch. Don't ever let nobody take you off that right there. And that's where I've been. Business, I told you about the business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then I can go to another issue. Well, it's been a couple, but I'll give you this one. I got busted from a regional captain, and so at that time right there, and you would know, we put our all into the nation, brother Josh, everything. Yes, we sacrificed family, business, everything. And the 7th region wasn't even created until about 94, 95, I think. That's when the 7th region, because the Southern region, but Curtis had all the way to Miami.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan placed Minister Rasul down here, he made a whole 7th region dealing with everything from, I believe, Jacksonville, South and Central America, and the Caribbean. He made the 7th region. Mm. So Brother Anthony was the captain under Minister B.I. So when Minister Rasul came, Minister Rasul had a whole new regime. Mm. So I was a lieutenant. Then I became, I don't know, first or second officer, I can't remember. And then he made me, I think that was 95, 96, I can't remember. He made me a regional captain, right?
Yes, sir.
So he called him. So that's what he told me. He said he called your father, and your father kind of okayed it, said, all right, okay, cool. Because at that time right there, then that would have made me the youngest regional captain. I was the youngest regional captain in a new region. And we was doing new things because I had brothers from Peru, Puerto Rico,
yes, sir, yes, Colombia, sir, yes, sir.
Grenada, Trinidad, St. Croix, St. Thomas. It was a beautiful demonstration of Islam. And Minister Rasul, such a beautiful brother, being raised partially in Mexico and having that, just that international flair, knowing how to deal with people. And me being in Miami, understanding the culture of the Caribbean, and
yes,
my father and grandparents being from the Bahamas,
okay,
it was easy for me to relate to the culture of the Caribbean because it was in me. And me and Minister Rasul, I believe, had one of the most beautifulest demonstrations of Islam that I think I've seen ever. And what I mean by that is that, like I said, I had brothers from Peru, Colombia, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Croix, St. Thomas, Trinidad, Ghana, Mexico, Honduras, Ecuador. I had all these brothers in the mosque under my tenure as a regional captain. And I used to have to be able to demonstrate love between some of the hardcore brothers who used to say, man, that is such and such. They was calling them names. But we had the beauty of the demonstration of Islam is so universal. And if they believe in not taking on an Anglo-Saxon understanding and accepting who the original man is, then they are our people. They are our people. So going back to, I got busted, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's a whole, I probably can talk 2 hours on that right there. And it was a play. I didn't do anything wrong.
Mm,
I
mm.
didn't, you know what I'm saying? It was no malfeasance. It was nothing like that. It was a straight play that busted me. No problem. I took it because at this time right there, I had the barbershop and I had the clothing store.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
these last 2.5 years, it's all nation time. It's nation. And like I said, and I'm dealing with different personalities. I believe my wife was just coming out of law school. I had a little baby. I had these businesses, and I'm trying to, I'm going down to St. Croix and Jamaica. I'm going to these different places with Minister Rasul, dealing with these different brothers and these different attitudes and these different demonstrations, right? And pushing the #1 program. I mean, just doing nation's work.
Yes, sir.
So my business was suffering. So when I got busted, it was like a relief to an extent.
Yes, sir.
But I was saying, okay, well, shit, I was damn near going to lose my family. I'm going to lose my business. Hey, let me come back up. Let me get it back together. Let me start back working. So of course I started back working, and in the midst of this right here, I think this is when, because my cousin was just starting the market group, because I told him, I said, listen, because at this time right here, I had one of the best barbershops ever in Miami, where all the Dolphin players, all the
Yes,
Heat
sir.
players, everybody was anybody. You come in that joint, you might see Michael Jordan in there. You come in there, you
Mm.
gonna see Scottie Pippen in there. Like
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
players was coming to my shop, right? And the name of my fact, let me give you this right here. The name of my shop is Headliners. So I'm gonna ask you something, Bridget. So when you think of headlines, what you think about?
Star power. I don't know. Something top.
Star Power.
Yes,
You
sir.
know where that name came from?
No, sir.
The Final Call newspaper. The first thing you look at is what?
The headlines.
The headlines.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I wanted to put the headline. Listen, I wanted to put the Final Call newspaper all throughout my barbershop. And Minister B, I said, brother, you in the business to make money, not lose customers.
Mm, mm,
And that's where headliners came from.
mm.
Because I wanted to name it, almost damn near the Final Call. Because that's how geeked I was about the nation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Minister B, I told me, said, brother, you in the business to make money, not lose customers. So that's where headliners came from. So because I used to have all these contacts and all these people used to come to the barbershop, my cousin was a partier. He was a drinker. And I'm on the teachings. I'm on teaching. Man, we ain't sport and play.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm
Yes,
pushing
sir.
the program. We taking over the city. So I convinced him. I said, listen, because everybody used to come into my chair. And, listen, that's probably not only person here I probably ain't cut as a star. It's probably Denzel Washington.
Mm, mm.
Any and everybody else, Ice Cube, Method Man, Biggie, Puffy, you name them, I've cut their hair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I ain't never wavered. Nas, and I've never wavered. And they'll tell you, oh, that's that Farrakhan dude right there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I ain't
sir.
never wavered on that right there,
Praise
right?
be to Allah.
So as he was going through his journey in life, I said, brother, listen. And you know how we do, brother Josh. Like the FOI, we gotta wait. We lean on people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We lean real hard.
Yes, sir.
So he used to party all the time, and I lean on the customers, my clients.
Yes, sir.
Do this favor. I need you to come show up to this party. And that's how headlines got started. Me leaning on him and him partying. But even then, like I was nowhere involved in the club because I was trying to give him an avenue, trying to give him something to do other than, man, just drinking and partying. Man, you got to be about business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
how
sir. Yes, sir.
headliners came about. So we get that going. So then I'm busted. So now I'm back on this business track.
Yes, sir.
Now we started Headliners Market Group. We got Headliners Clothing Store. We got Headliners Barbershop. So of course, when the brothers would come to town, they would always reach out to Brother Gerald because I know the city. respected, honorable. Let's go. Somebody put another lie out on me from within. And this one right here was super funky, brother Josh. This was almost as bad as that brother in DC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They put a real lie out on me. I mean, a funky lie. Hurt my heart. I mean, it was crushing. I was so mad. I said, man, I don't want. If they ain't from number 4, I don't want nobody to talk to me. That's how I was feeling. And so, Brother Curtis told me who said it, what they said, and who was the audience. And Brother Curtis was mad because Brother Curtis knows me. Like your father. Hey, you know me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? And like I said, that principle that your father always instilled in me, don't ever do anything to embarrass the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I stand by that. So, but supposedly, this how it was told to me, that it went to the leader about me. So I confronted the brother who said it. And I told him, I said, brother, I said, I stood by you 1,010% with my life. I sacrificed my family for you. And I said, I heard it came from you. And it went to the leader. That one of his former regional captains, FOI, was engaging in this kind of activity. I said, brother, that's not right. That's not fair. I don't care. You can don't like me, but don't lie on me. And I say now, so now you got some other brothers who may otherwise look at me, respect me, like me, look at me funny now. They say, oh, that ain't the brother Gerald I know. Like, how you went left like that? And I told the brother, I say, brother, listen, you can do it. I say the same audience that you told the minister and those about me, I want to clear my name up. I want you to bring me to the meeting. And I want you to say it in my face. Mm-hmm. I definitely can't deny it because it wasn't true at all. Mm-hmm. And the parties that was affiliated with it, I knew personally. And I know if I would have called them and say, listen, I need you here, they would have came and said, you got to be out your mind, not him. Hence, it never happened. That call that I wanted to clear my name, Brother Gerald, it never happened. So when we talk about that trial. So hence, and I believe that was, and then after that, maybe that was 2004, 2005, which Savior's Day, the minister, I think the Highway to God or something like that. I can't remember which Savior's Day that was, but the minister talked about, and we've always talked about this in the nation, get out the devil's name, right? You got to be recognized for who you are with your name to demonstrate who you are. Live up to your name. So after that trial with that brother and the lies, I was so mad and I was so hurt. That's when I said, you know what? I'm going to change my name myself. Because you're not going to know me as that. And I said, and I want my name to be indicative and reflective of who I am. Even though my son's name is Sadiq, I looked up the word. I wanted to be a believer. So that's what Mussadiq means, a believer.
Praise be to
So I want to forever and always be a believer in the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan,
Yes,
and
sir. Yes, sir.
the Nation of Islam. So that was a trial. Those are three trials. When you talk about trials that I went through, two within the nation, and one, and there's been some other things, but man, you know, hard trials are necessary to establish the truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I understand that, brother Josh. I welcome them.
Praise be to Allah.
You know, I want to be put through the fire because the minister said you got to be put through fire in order to see what you made of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How can you say you're a believer and you ain't been tried?
Allahu Akbar.
How can you say you're a businessman and you ain't lost no money?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand me?
Yes,
How
sir.
can you
Yes,
say
sir.
you're a lover and you ain't never had your heart broke?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You teaching?
These are real things. How can you say you believe in Master Farad Muhammad, but yet you scared to go and open up a business and make people come to your business because of your service?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you say you believe? And if you don't try to God, he said money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. That's what he said. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
I remember your father driving a Cutlass Supreme, brother. Then I looked up, he was driving a convertible Rolls Royce. He probably had 2 or 3 of them. You want to know what Islam done for me? I mean, brother Josh, you want to know what Islam has done for me? I can tell you about being cold broke. To tell you now, man, I lost 500,000 since the COVID, and I'm still smiling.
Praise be to
My
Allah.
family's still good. My wife still love me. My children may be mad at me, but ain't nobody naked and out of doors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I'm saying, listen, they can stay closed down for another year. We all right.
Praise
I
be
believe
to
in Allah.
Allah.
Stay in your chamber. That's what the minister said, right?
Yes, sir.
Stay in your chamber. And guess what, brother Josh? And I haven't compromised any of my teachings. I ain't compromised.
Praise be
At
to
all.
Allah.
You know? So man, listen. Yes, brother, we need more businesses.
Yes, sir.
But we also need more belief. And I'm telling you, and I got to say it again and again and again. I got this from your father, because your father always was in business.
Praise be to Allah. Well, Brother Mussadiq, what do you do for fun?
I just like, you know what? I don't know if I have fun in living. I've been outside all day in my yard, just raking up leaves, brother. That's it. You know, listen, my children are happy. My wife is happy. The birds is happy. The dogs are happy.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy.
Praise be to Allah.
I make my prayers. I make my rakahs. I love Allah. I love His messenger. I love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I love the believers. And as long as we are happy, then I'm happy.
Praise be to Allah.
Like it ain't true. Listen, like I was supposed to be, actually, I was on my, listen, brother Josh, listen, I was on my way to Morocco Thursday. And somehow, some way, my wife lost her phone, and you know, everything is in the phone. And so I try to screenshot the COVID test, and I get to the airport, and they wouldn't accept it, right? So I said, it must be that I ain't supposed to go. So I stayed here. So that's what I do. I travel. You know, I get on my motorcycle. I ride.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, I get in one of them. You know, one of them 15 cars I got.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
You know, and drive around. But what most makes me happy is when people able to recognize and identify that I'm a Muslim and I'm a member of the Nation of Islam, and that I'm a follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and they say, wow, because I just want to change your life like it changed mine.
Praise be to Allah.
You know,
What would your, if you could choose one album to say your favorite album of all time, what would it be?
album?
Yes, sir.
Album. Well, let me put it this way. Jay-Z is my favorite artist.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then you get Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas.
Okay.
Outkast.
Okay.
Common.
Okay.
Lupe Fiasco.
I like Lupe. Yes, sir.
Foxy Brown.
Okay. Okay.
Rick Ross.
Yes, sir. Of course. Miami Stand Up.
Like, so ain't nothing in my car right now but Jay-Z and Rick Ross. That's it. Period.
That makes sense. Yes, sir.
No, period. Because they exude confidence, black manhood, black excellence, and
yes, sir.
business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm, that's what I relate to. So I don't know if I have a favorite album, but in that one of them cars outside, ain't number Jay-Z and Rick Ross in there. And you can go either or. I don't never fast forward. This is how I'm feeling.
Beautiful. And Brother Mussadiq, what do you want your legacy to be?
A great follower of the Nation of Islam. Period. Like period. Like I don't even want you to mention my name. Well, you can't. You can't, because you're gonna ask where he get that name Muhammad from.
Yes, sir.
That's Farrakhan gave him that name. So when we talk about our legacy, man, our legacy is just being able to help our people see and to achieve freedom and demonstrate black excellence from a righteous point of view, and caring and loving, and brother Student Supreme told me a long time ago, we have to learn to be inclusive opposed to just exclusive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if I can share these jewels and these teachings with others, to be fearless, to be conquering, to be dominating, but to be compassionate, to be loving, to be respectful, to be just. That's it. That's it.
And I want to thank you, Brother Mussadiq, publicly for taking me into your home when I was doing security at one of the award shows when I got the whole post for the minister.
Yes, sir.
And you welcomed me in. I didn't have to stay in a hotel, and I got to be around your family and your dogs and just be in your house. And every time I've seen you, it's been nothing but love from you, your wife, and your family.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, and thank them for their sacrifice as well. And may Allah continue to bless you, sir.
Thank you.
An example, because we need more role models within the nation for us to look up to as well, of just successful, masculine, and strong black men. So I appreciate that, sir.
Nah, brother Josh, listen, like I said again, I can't thank Allah enough for coming in the Nation of Islam at the time that I did, having your father as my captain.
Praise be to Allah.
As one to teach, train, help me, guide me, save me, beat me, spank me. Like that brotherhood in number 4 to this day. And this is across the nation, but to this day, I love all those brothers and all those. Every time I see them, it's just like it was yesterday. If I ain't seen them in 15 years, 20 years, I love them because that is the kind of love that your father taught us as young men to feel about each other, to feel about ourselves, to love our nation, and to love the minister.
Praise be to
That
Allah.
comes from your father.
Praise be to
Teaching
Allah.
me. Like I said, I came in there, I'm 50. I had a birthday 3 days ago, right? I just turned 54.
Praise be to Allah.
I came in the Nation of Islam, I was 22 years old. And I was wow. And he trained me, molded me, man. Between him and, you know, like I say, this how blessed I was. I came in at number 4, the foundation.
Yes, sir.
I came in under William Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
William Sharif. William
Yes, sir.
Muhammad was my captain. Right? Dr. Eileen was my minister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? And then I can go down the line from, you know, like I say, Brother Aaron, who's the captain now, Brother Najma, Brother Dion, Brother Nada, Brother Ernest, Brother Scotty. I mean, I can go down a list of brothers that helped me, shaped me, mold me, made me into the fearless warrior that I am, that I love them brothers immensely. But that was all because of the leadership out of Mosque number 4, Washington, D.C., pound for pound, the best mosque there was.
Praise be to Allah.
And that's from the leadership of your father, brother.
Praise.
Yes, sir.
I'm grateful for that, and thank you all for watching. And thank you again, Brother Mussadiq. I look forward to one day, you know, in 36 months, you know, we get this big deal. Don't forget about the People's Podcast. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget about the People's Podcast. You know what I'm saying?
And make sure you give your family, man, the greetings. And hold on, brother. And make sure you tell Brother Chill I ask about him.
Yes, sir, I will.
Yeah, you make sure you ask Chill I ask about him, brother. And I love you, Brother Josh.
And I love you more, sir.
Keep doing what you're doing. Your book was so inspired. Listen, man. Oh, I keep saying so much. Brother Josh, my father was locked up 27 years of my life. Right? My father damn near raised me through a pen and a pad because he used to write all the time. But if you ever talk to me right now and always say, this is what I always say, and this is what I got from your father too. He said, nobody loves the black man. He would teach on that every time he in class. And it made me love the black man so much. People always say now, man, why are you always around little young brothers? Because I just want to be an example of a man that they may not have had. Because your father was that to me. And he always told me, always love the black man. Because don't nobody love us. Nobody loves us. That was another jewel in Jugger. So your book, man, that's a hell of a thing. And you got to push that.
Yes, sir.
Men who otherwise may be thinking one way about their father, but once you come into these teachings, man, ain't nothing like that black man.
Praise be to Allah.
With his faults and his problems, man, you still got to uphold him and love him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As long as he, listen, man, as long as he ain't violate, like rape or something like that, like your father used to always tell me, you don't know why daddy left the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't know why. But shit, man, you gotta love him, man. We gotta help each other up, hold each other up.
Praise be to
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
Your book, Brother Josh, you gotta continue to push that right there, man. Even you gotta force it down some youngin's face, man. Because I know we get hard sometimes as men, but we gotta look past the hardness or the love of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because ain't nothing like us as men. And if we on this course, in this thing, in this dispensation of time, this the kind of man you want. You want a man who built from the FOI.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want a man built from the FOI. So yes, bro, I just, I say that, man, because I love your father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I love your father so much, man. Sir. Hey, man, so, I love the nation. And, the extent that I love the nation was again, it was taught by your father. And I mean that,
Praise be to Allah. And I'll be sure to let him reiterate that to him and to my family. And I'm going to let My brother know that you asked about him as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir, and assalamu alaikum. And thank you all for watching.